Connor, what's up, man? Nice to meet you, bro.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm glad you reached out, man, and definitely got a story. So I've actually never met you or talked to you other than through the phone line and texting. Tell me what's your journey? What's your choice of drug? Number one, what were you hooked on?
Heroin fentanyl combination IV
Okay, and that's not
is
the only drugs
was
that you were doing, though, right?
no, not at all. Like I messed around with other stuff. I mean, like of course I took other stuff to the extreme too, but heroin was like my main like uh like addiction, I guess, like my main obsession. I like to call it.
I agree. I get it. I just wanted to start that off so that everybody knows kind of the end of where your addiction led. But take us back, man. Who are you? What was it like growing up into what you ended up in addiction, if you don't mind? Like what let's keep it addiction focused if you could, but just tell us a little bit about how you ended up getting into drugs.
Right. So I never really had that many people to hang out with in high school and stuff, and I always I like the kids who I did sit with kind of like kicked me out of the table and shit. So I went to go sit with these other kids and stuff, and like they were always talking about like smoking stuff like that, like weed, and so like I kind of like tried to make friends with them, and eventually I did. And I remember I went to like this ice skating rink, and every like three of these kids like went into the bathroom, and they're like huddled around something or other, and like when one kid's holding it. So like I ended up doing this extremely stupid trade with the kid. Like I ended up trading my iPod Touch that like my parents had just bought me for like probably not even 2 grams worth of weed, but I was so excited, and like I brought it home and like looked up how to make a pipe, ended up like making something out of tinfoil and smoking it out of that. And I remember that really being like the first experience for me, at least with drugs, where like I was like I was like shaking because like I never had anything like that before. I just laid in my bed for like hours, and it was like, to me, I remember I was like thinking, I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to do this, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. I totally relate. And my journey kind of started alcohol and then weed. But yeah, habitual smoker. I can totally relate. So I suspect it progressed, right? You like the way you felt when you escaped that natural, what we feel on a daily basis, because there's probably something missing. We want to feel better. What led you into deeper stuff? And then what ended up, if you don't mind, like a little bit about your household. You mentioned some things right prior to us starting this recording. So if you want to go into some of that and then what led you into deeper, darker stuff.
Right. So, like I always like used to really seek the approval of other people. Like I remember my teachers would always tell me like, you just need to worry about yourself, worry about yourself. But like I had such a poor self-image because of like being adopted and like certain stuff with my family and like being prenatally exposed to drugs and having a bunch of siblings that like I could have never met and stuff. So I like I never really understood like how anyone could actually like love me or like actually want to be part of my life. I just always felt like worthless and stuff. So I remember like eventually like after smoking weed for a while, like obviously other stuff was introduced, and I was sitting on a buddy of mine's back porch, and I remember his mom had prescriptions for Vicodin and like Klonopin, and they were like the old like the yellow tens and stuff like that. And it was like the first time I ever even did something like that. Like I asked before, I was like, you know what I mean? Because like they were all about it, and they were older than me too. Like the people I was friends with, like by at least like 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit more than that. And that's really like how that whole opiate thing started. I remember like honestly like I started just doing the pills and stuff because I thought it was cool and I liked the way they make me feel and stuff. Like listening
Yeah.
to like Eminem and shit like that, really like I feel like I just like felt like that was how I fit in, you know?
Yeah, I can relate. I
Like
remember the yellow Vicodins. I remember there were the tins and they had the V on them and all. And I remember I used to take all that stuff. So I can totally relate. And you said it progressed. It got worse. What ended up
yeah, I
happening?
never.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean
No,
to
you're
cut you
fine.
off, but
You're
like no,
good, man.
I went right into snorting too. Like I wasn't even trying to like I wasn't even trying to pop them. I went right into like crushing them up and putting them right up my nose like that. Like the first day I did it, I didn't even bother with popping them first.
So someone I suspect showed you how to do that. That's what I did. What meant what? How do I put this? What made you put a needle in your arm? Did you ever do that, or did you just snort your heroin?
Oh yeah, I definitely. What got me into IV use was I was like, I wanted to try it because like a lot of my friends like were doing it. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I wonder what they're getting and stuff. And I remember like I started to like spend way too much money on it because at first, yeah, I did start out snorting it, but then someone introduced me to smoking it off a tinfoil,
Mm.
and like that was like when I hit that point. Once I started smoking it off the foil, that was really when like I like was like, you know what I mean? 'Cause I was like really like low, you know what I mean? Like that was
Yeah.
like when it really hit me and stuff. But there there was another like key part about something that I meant to throw in there, but I forgot.
Go ahead.
Like so when I was about 17 years old, this is probably about 2 to 3 years into me doing Vicodin and perks and all that. I started like messing around with benzos, and I got really messed up on these pills, and I ended up breaking into someone I used to be friends with, their house, and I stole their gun from them and took their safe with
Mm.
like some stuff like that, and ended up getting sent to this like juvenile detention facility. It ended up getting shut down. There's like a lot of physical abuse that went on there, and like afterwards, like I didn't really feel like it, but I was diagnosed by a psychologist with PTSD, and so like I kind of had a break for about a year and a half when I was 17, and then whenever I came home, all my friends were like already into heroin and stuff, and so like, you know what I mean? Like I just had no one else to hang out with. I had like other stuff going on in my life too, like lady drama and stuff like that. So I was all like felt lost and stuff like that. So like whenever I got out of that, which I was really lucky I didn't go to jail for like 25 years, which is what my lawyer told me because they were trying to charge me as an adult. So like that that was really like I jumped straight into heroin addiction whenever I got out.
How long were you hooked on the heroin and stuff? How long did your addiction take place?
Um, from the time from the time I got out of there, so when I was 18 till about 6 months ago, I got on a Suboxone program, and I had done the Suboxone program before, like
Mhm.
within like the 2 3 years that I was messing around with heroin and stuff like that, and
Did you take it serious?
I mean, I didn't at first because, like, when I first did it, like the first couple times I went to clinics, I was just like, all right, I pay them the money, they give me the subs, I might take a few of them,
Mhm.
sell the rest of them, or trade someone for something like that. And it was just like I didn't really see the error in that because you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
wasn't an innocent kid, but I was just really naive. I was still just really naive to the whole like what was really going on, you know?
Right. I can can totally relate, man. And like I said, if I didn't make it the way that I did, I would I would figure out something, man. Rehab, treatment, maintenance, something, you know. So I'm not knocking you one bit, and I totally get it. Is it working for you now? And you said 6 months, right? So how well are you doing now? And what do you do to stay clean? Is it just the maintenance, or do you try to get involved in some type of? Is there something you do to replace, that boredom and that emptiness today? Like, what do you do?
Well, actually, I'm currently on Vivitrol. I only took one prescription, like worth of Suboxone from that place, and I was kind of like, I'm taking these, and I had a certain amount set aside. I was like, I'm determined to do this. I got rid of the rest of them, and I was like, I'm gonna get clean. Like, I'm gonna take this last piece of Suboxone, and that's all I'm gonna take. So that was about New Year's whenever I stopped with the Suboxone, and I
Hmm.
went like 2 weeks. I went until it wasn't in my system anymore, and I went straight to the place. And like it was really early in the morning too. I remember it was the first day I felt better, and I told my mom I was like, I need you to take me to the clinic so I can tell them I need to get my Vivitrol shot instead. and they ended up they took my mouth swab that day, and they're like, if this comes back clean, then we don't have another like if you come back in like a week or whatever, because that was the next available appointment, they're like, we'll have your Vivitrol ordered and ready to go by then. So like I went home and I ended up like just like really sticking it out with staying off the heroin and stuff, and went back, and the doctor was like kind of reluctant to give me my shot because of how many different times I've been in there, and like almost every drug test I'd ever took came back dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So he like kind of talked to me before he gave it to me and was like, are you sure, blah 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 blah. But I ended up getting it, and I've been on it ever since then. So I've been on that for almost I'm getting my 4th shot on Friday of this week, actually.
Congratulations, brother. Proud of you, man. I got a question. Vivitrol compared to the Suboxone, what does it feel like, if you don't mind me asking? How does Vivitrol feel compared to Suboxone?
There's no opiate in it or anything like that. It's literally just the blocker. So like when you get it, your ass is kind of going to feel like you have a baseball in it for like the next 2 days. But other than that, you don't notice it. Like you might feel a little bit stretchy and stuff. At least for me, I've heard of other people like in rehabs that I've been in, like really complain about it, but I'm not sure if that was stuff that was actually going on or if that was just them not wanting to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, I've never had any problems with it other than maybe having it make you sore for a couple days. But it
doesn't give you like a buzz or anything. Like there's not like a buzz to it.
No, not at all. It's just one shot once a month.
And for you, you haven't had, I mean, I'm not going to say you haven't thought of it. Like who doesn't, right? I'm not going to pretend like you're Superman, but you haven't had like cravings or anything like where you really feel like you need to get high, or have you?
I mean, for me, I exercise a lot now. Like once when I first like got off the Suboxone, I like told myself I was going to start going to the gym and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to try and see if I can run a mile every morning. And I mean, wow. Like my legs were really sore for like the first 2 days after that, but honestly, like since that time, I've been just going to the gym. Well, actually the YMCA, and I'll run on the treadmill for an hour, like lift some weights, like not really anything crazy or anything like that. I'm not the biggest dude, but I'm trying to get myself toned up. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I do now and stuff. But with the gyms being shut down and stuff, now, I mean, I'll go on runs up the street and stuff like that. But I got dumbbells and stuff out.
You've been staying busy. You've been staying busy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Good. That's awesome, man. So do you go to recovery meetings, or is it not something that you do? You just stay busy doing workouts and stuff, and you're just trying to connect?
I mean, I don't really do meetings all like that. I mean, I probably should. I do kind of want to get a sponsor and stuff like that, and like start actually working the steps. Cause to me, like that's something that I never took serious, like before in my recovery. But I mean, like for now, like my main focus is staying clean, but eventually I would like to, work the steps and get a sponsor and stuff like that.
That's good, man. Yeah, I did that path. That was something that really helped me, especially early on. I do have a Discord. I don't know if you're aware, but if you go in there, they have meetings, especially since everything's closed down right now. So if you wanted to go in there, you could hit the meetings. They've got 2 different types of meetings a day. And I suspect more people are going to start bringing more since the quarantine stuff's going on. We need to have more meetings going on, but yeah, it's good to socialize. You'll meet some good people in there, and there's some really good friends, some real good people that you can meet through there and connect. Because from what I heard in your whole story, and anyone watching this, I think we all feel a little bit like we're alone in this world, or we feel like we don't fit in, or we feel like we have to try and gain approval of people, or there's something there. And I heard that in your story over and over, and I felt the same way. I always felt like I didn't belong, or I was special but different. And I always looked at myself differently than other people. And that's obviously harmed us in many ways. So connecting with other people and realizing, you know what, we're really, yeah, we might be different compared to some people, but finding other people like us makes us start to realize, hold on,
Yeah.
I fit in. I fit in. It's not like I'm some unique special. It's a self-centeredness too. So, dude, you made it
Yeah,
though.
we're a dying breed, addicts are.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
someone told me one time.
Well, it's getting worse and worse, man. A lot of people right now, especially being alone and having this quarantine thing going on, they're not able to get out and socialize. So a lot of people are struggling. I'm glad you reached out to me. And, you know, you can always message me, man. You can always text me, message me on Facebook and stuff. Is there anything you'd want to say to somebody right now who's struggling, who's sitting on the fence? Maybe they're thinking about what they should do. You know, obviously, I'm not saying you're a doctor or anything like that, but you've been through some of this stuff. So what would you recommend someone who's probably early on in this that's still struggling with addiction?
I mean, if this comes off as kind of like a bland, like thing like that, I don't know. But I know you say a lot in your videos and stuff. Like you don't know what might work the best for someone else, but you know what you had to do. So what I had to do was I had to dedicate myself and really realize that people aren't your people make like aren't really for you. Like they're not really always gonna be there and be your friends and stuff. And like uh, you gotta just want it. You gotta like realize like you're gonna end up dead. Like I know at least with what I was doing, that's playing Russian roulette almost every time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you gotta want something better and realize like your self worth because you know what I mean. It's I don't, you know what I mean. I don't really know how else to explain it.
Let me ask you this. This is the last question I got for you, my brother. Your family, obviously they care. Some people don't have that, but if someone did have a family and you were talking to their parent, you were able to tell that father, that mother, that grandmother, that sister, that brother, whoever that is, what would you recommend them do for someone who was like you? So like looking back, how involved were they in trying to help you get clean? And what do you think would be an important thing that they do to try and help their loved one?
Um, I mean, answer. I mean, I always tell people make sure you answer people's texts and phone calls and listen to people's mannerisms when they speak and stuff like that. Especially if it's someone that you know has problems like that. I mean, like a lot of people and stuff will like try and give hints and stuff. I know, especially I've had a couple friends that have like committed suicide and like had addiction problems too. And I mean, like really the only thing you can do is just I mean, I know it kind of sounds cliche, but you just have to love them unconditionally and realize that nothing you can say or do is really going to uh, make them make a change. I mean, there's certain things you can do to influence them, like maybe show them pictures of themselves when they were kids or like remind them like of accomplishments if stuff like that they've done in their lives and like
Right.
stuff like that.
Did your parents help you get into treatment or to try and help you get help?
Yeah, I remember like the first time like I got sick. I remember like I was like that is terrible. Like that was the worst experience I ever went through. So I ended up like they got me right into a local like detox center and stuff like that. It wasn't my saving grace by any means, but it was a step
Right.
in the right direction.
Dude, you rock. First of all, super proud of you, man, and you're not alone. I just want you to know that. Thank you for sharing this with me and the world. It's it's powerful, man. Just seeing, and you're young. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 20. I just turned 20 in December.
Wow. Yeah, man. It took me another 8 or 9 years to figure it out. And if you keep this now, bro, there's no telling where you're going to be at, in 8 years. I really do appreciate you sharing that with everybody. And look, if you guys are struggling, we got a Discord. You're not alone, especially in times like now. Go check out the Discord down in the description of this video. And you guys show Connor some love. Leave him some love down in the comments section during a time like this. Connor, I don't know if I had the coronavirus. I don't know, but I was so sick these past 2, 3 weeks, which usually you see me drop videos. It drained all my energy. I was sleeping. I was just out of it, and I'm still kind of coming out of this funk. So I appreciate you reaching out to me, man. And I've been just kind of out of it, no energy. So I hope everybody gets better. I hope this thing goes away and everything starts to get better, where people can go outside and have human connection, because connection is what it's all about. So thanks for joining me, brother.
You have no problem, man.